Combin on the air. Thanks for tuning into Instagram Growth Podcast. We love having you here, and it's our mission to bring you all of the latest and greatest tips, skills, and know-how to make you the best Instagram marketer that you can be. We know that you have it in you, and we are going to show you how. Now, let's get started. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the new episode of Instagram Growth Podcast. I'm your host, Anne, and today, as usual, this episode is going to provide you with a deep knowledge on social media issues and give you a ton of useful information. But today, I'm not alone here, and I'm so excited about that. So let me introduce my co-host, Robert.
Hey.
Hello, Robert.
Hello, Anna.
Robert is a content strategist and is passionate about digital marketing, social media, and everything that is new and trendy in that industry. So, hello once again, and thank you for accepting my invitation, Robert.
Well, thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure for me being a co-host with you for this episode.
Yeah, thank you. Today, Robert will talk about content strategy, but before we actually get down to this, let me ask you a few questions about you, Robert, your personality, and so on, okay?
Okay, let's do it.
So, what is your motto or a quote that you live by? What motivates you?
Well, the funny thing is that I really don't have any quote or motto I live by right now. It's just that I want to make the best of every part of my life, so personal or professional. Most of my time, I'm focused on being present. So, for example, when I'm with my family, I struggle to be 100% around there. This means not scrolling through my phone or thinking of my job or stuff like this. Or when I'm working at my job, I want to really be focused on what I'm really doing. So this means that every morning I have like a pen and paper journal where I'm writing all my checklist, and I hope that at the end of the day I finish those checklists. But the most interesting thing is that I wrote an article when I turned 32, and I mentioned a few important things that are important for me right now. I don't know, maybe just a second, if it's okay for you, if I can read it.
Yeah, okay.
Please. So yeah, one thing is that I love to challenge myself. That means that when, for example, Dragostanka, the person who is organizing maybe the biggest events for the digital marketing industry in the Central Eastern Europe, ICFest, he asked me to come and speak about podcasting and about podcasting and marketing in podcasting. So that was something very, very interesting, but also a big challenge for me. So I accepted that challenge.
Okay.
And
so you're fighting challenges in your life.
I believe that we need to do these kind of challenges to challenge ourselves to be a better version or ourselves, or just to look at these challenges as a project and then look back and see if they helped us, if they developed us, if they, I don't know, started in us something, being a better person. And
yeah, if they made us better in some way.
Oh yeah. And another thing that I really love and I'm really focused on, it's the process. So in the process, I believe there is no right or no wrong. When whatever I'm doing, I'm thinking about that's a process. I don't know, writing an article, creating a blog post, working on a content project. I believe that's a process. If I didn't get to the target that I put it to myself that, hey, that's the target for this project, and I didn't get to that target, it doesn't mean that the project was bad. It just means that, hey, it was a project. I started doing that. It's a process. And if I've done something good, then maybe I get to the target. Or if I've done something wrong, it's an experiment, and it's also for myself, like, I don't know, a bigger process in myself to be a better person. So it's not something like a moral or a quote. It's more like on a way of life for now.
Lifestyle.
Something like this.
Okay, thank you. Interesting. And as I have already told our audience at the beginning, you are a content strategist, so marketing is your passion. But what is it that you do exactly? Could you please talk about that in detail? So tell my listeners about your occupation,
Well,
please.
my work it's very different from one day to another. So I'm not just 100% a writer, or I'm not just 100% a project manager, or I'm not just one I'm not a CEO or CMO or something like this. Like I'm the content marketing strategist for Banner Snack. Banner Snack started in 2010 as an online graphic design tool. We were the pioneer in
Mm-hmm.
the online graphic design tool, and now we have around, I don't know, a few million users. I don't know exactly. So I just,
Oh, that's
oh yeah.
amazing.
And we don't have any investors, so we just bootstrap it. But the most interesting thing is that everything we are doing, it's in-house. So content is in-house, marketing is in-house, design is in-house, development is in-house. So and everything started from here in Romania. So now we are around international. So that gives me like a bigger challenge on starting from a local marketing as a local marketing guy and doing these kind of big projects. And I also have a few side projects such as, I don't know, like a local podcast, a Romanian podcast. But I also started doing interview with international people like Andy Crestodina, Sean Ellis, April Dunford, and all these people.
Oh, yeah, I've listened to some of your
Oh, thank you,
episode.
thank you. And sometimes I speak at conferences. So, but my main job is being the best content strategist for my company and trying to get to the target that we are putting for our marketing team. So, as a content marketing strategist, I'm working with an awesome content team. We are also connecting with the SEO team. So that means that we are creating the kind of content that we understand our people needs and wants, and can help them, I don't know, being better in what they are doing, or I don't know, working better in what they are doing on a daily basis. And this may be, I don't know, blog post, or sending a newsletter, or creating a podcast, or I don't know, videos, or everything around content. So yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's very interesting. What's your secret, by the way? Where do you find energy for so many deals and for so many
Well, I believe
activities?
that the energy is to just love what you do, and have a lot of passion, and have great people around you. My marketing team is awesome. My head of marketing manager, it's awesome. I also have friends from the industry, so I try to connect with them. I try to talk with them. I try to learn from them, because, like for example, 3 years ago, I didn't know anything about SEO. So for me, SEO was something like a magical stuff that only the tech and nerdy guys are doing it. Uh, and I believe that content and should be blogging about, I don't know, give me an example, the rise is shining and stuff like this. So create just trending content. But then my colleague Sergio came, and he told me that we need to work on a to create like a connecting dots. And I believed, I also wrote an article about how to scale this skill in yourself, like connecting the dots. And that for me helped a lot on connecting the dots between the content and between the SEO. So, and he helped me a lot on understand how is SEO from the content perspective. So I believe that
Yeah,
when you have around you friends and colleagues where you can work around and you can understand yourself and just be passionate on what you are doing. Another thing that
yeah,
I want to mention is that uh, it's also the kind of thing that I wrote in my 32-year article, is that getting your hand dirty and just doing the stuff. But maybe the most important thing, that you don't have to finish what you started. Like I know it's something like a revolutionary stuff, but you just don't have to finish what you started. Like, for example, you, Anna, when you start reading a book, if you don't like after, I don't know, 10 pages, do you have that in mind? You need to finish that book because you started, or you can just drop that off and take another book?
To tell the truth, I usually read the book till the end, so I cannot just drop it at the middle or the beginning because I have hope that now in a few pages there will be something interesting, there will be something worth my time and something
And
like
if
that.
yeah, and if they're not, and you just took, I don't know, the time of your life reading that art, reading that book, and at the end of the book you're disappointed about that book, what are you doing? Like, what's your process of, I don't know, understanding that? How can you understand the next book if it will be a better book for you or not?
Oh, if I have that experience a few times that I read the book till the end and it's not interesting and it's boring and I think that it's waste of my time, then of course, yes. Next time I will drop it at the beginning or in the middle at
Yeah, so
least.
this is what I'm doing. Like, if I'm starting anything, like for example reading a book, and after 4 pages or 6 pages the book is not interesting for me, I just drop it off and that's all. Like, or when I start a project and I see that I can't finish it, but I'm just saying, man, I can't finish it, so that's all. Maybe now is not the moment to finish it, or maybe I don't have the enough resources, or maybe there are other priorities for me to finish that project. So yeah, this is the kind of energy and passion that I have for my side projects and also my work. And because I love what I'm working at Banners Next. So yeah, just think about how when you wake up and you can't you can't wait you can't wait the Monday morning. That's yeah, that's the kind of
Oh,
job.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know this feeling. Okay, so we started to talk about the process of your work. So, what is your content strategy thought process? I mean, what do you look out for, in what order, and
Well,
so
my
on?
content strategy process is very simple. Like, I need to understand the purpose of the marketing campaign or the business so I can use content to help achieve those goals. For example, if the purpose is to get, I don't know, more website traffic, or yeah, let's stick to that, more website traffic, I need to think about how can I create the kind of content and work with the content and SEO team so we can get the best of the content. Because I'm also more focused on creating evergreen content that drives value even 2 years after it's published. So it doesn't mean that if we are creating right now the kind of content that will need to I don't know, get some website traffic for this week, but the next week it won't just drop off. It doesn't work for us. So our content strategy, and when I say our content strategy, is that we are an entire team working on that content strategy, and every one of us are putting on the table our thoughts, our ideas, our process of how can we create a content strategy and how can we create the content that can help achieve the goals from the marketing, from the entire marketing. So I'm starting understanding the goal, and then I try
Okay.
to understand what kind of content should we create to achieve that goal. So yeah, it's also connecting the dots, and I will be very obsessive with this stuff because I believe that the best content marketer are the one that can connect the dots. I don't know, relationships, understanding the what kind of content can drive the most value from a project and all this stuff. And for me, it's only just connecting the dots.
And are you the only one who thinks about that content strategy, or you have the members in team
Yes.
who help you? So is it a company decision or
No, we
standalone
we
one?
are we as a marketing team, we are divided in a few sub departments. Let's say the paid sub department, let's say the content sub department, the SEO sub department, the email sub department. So, and when we need to achieve a goal from a marketing perspective, we can then all stay at the table and see, hey, how we can use newsletter here, or how we can use content, or how we can use paid. Like, for example, we launch our podcast, the Drag and Drop podcast, and we are talking with our clients not about our product. We don't talk with clients about our product. We talk with our customers and with our clients about their day-to-day work, how they are working, how they achieve the success, what failures do they have, and all this stuff. So when we started, that's a content project, right? But in the meantime, it can be as a customer project because you connect with your customer. So it also can be related for the customer. We can talk with our support. We can talk with our support manager and say, hey, we want to do an interview with a person who is, I don't know, working in a multi-million company like a Fortune 500, and they can say, hey, you can talk with this or this or this. These are their stories. And then we can talk with, and then we are talking with our newsletter team. Hey, think about, we want to do like a bi-weekly newsletter. In our bi-weekly newsletter for our blog, can we use the newsletter to talk with our customers? Oh, no, or not. And they can say, yeah, you can use it or you cannot. And then we can talk with our SEO guy who is saying like, yes, you can build that blog post based on your interview. But what's the intent? Like, what's the intent of the user that will come there? Do they want to listen to the podcast? Do they want to read the entire interview? Do they only want to check the pinpoints and the hot points from the topic? So it's just like connecting the dots. You have one small project and just connecting the dot with other members of the team.
Okay. And nowadays there are a lot of management systems, some automatic tools that we can find online or anywhere. So have you and your team used any of them? And if yes, or no, why?
Yes, like 15 years ago, I started my personal blog on WordPress. So it was a kind of blog where I wrote about, I don't know, everything. Yeah, the sun is rising and stuff like this. And it's very easy to build, create, and publish on this platform. So since then, I stuck with WordPress. But I know there are hundreds and hundreds of tools that can automate your content creation and all these content marketing manager. But you see, I'm more like getting my hands dirty. So sometimes I just get my pen and paper and write down the ideas, write down the process, connecting the process and the ideas. I don't know, creating bullets and all this stuff, or even the workflow for a project. And after that, we are just putting on the internet. I don't know, maybe using Google Docs and stuff like that, or some management tools. Yeah. And from that, we are just, because it's very interesting, because every one of us is having their own behavior of working. And we are starting from our own. Like, I'm starting working on my own behavior. But when I'm starting talking with you about a project, I need to understand your behavior. And sometimes the best behavior and sometimes the best way to connect with you, it's on a classic way. And just, hey, let's drop a call and see how we can manage it. And now you can do that and I can do that. And even if it's not automated, the creation, the content creation or the project management and all this stuff, but we need to connect as a human being, because if we are not connecting in our small marketing team, then how can we connect with the entire world on, I don't know, from our content, So that's
yeah, I understand what you're talking about.
Even if it's take too long, but I believe that it's helping us just putting ideas down, and also connecting with just look, even if you're not in this room and I'm not in that room, we can just look one to each other and just understand that, hey, a smile, it's a smile. You don't have to just put an emoji smile on our talk so that I can understand that you're in a good mood in this morning,
Yeah. So you give a favor to traditional methods of planning and content creation. Yeah, so paper, Google Docs,
it's very interesting. It helped me a lot. And to be very honest with you, I'm looking around some content marketing project management tools, but for now I don't have like any good tool that can, I don't know, bring me joy and happiness.
Yeah, I get you. And we all know how important it is to measure the performance of what we do. So actually, what for did we write this post, or what for did we record this podcast? So the results we have by the end of any of our campaigns. So how do you usually measure the performance of your content marketing? And can you describe maybe examples of good content that you have
I think the
implemented?
best performance you can measure with content marketing, it really depends on the purpose of the content marketing and the purpose of that business or of that entire marketing. So if you want to get, I don't know, leads, or you want to get more engagement, or if you want to get more website traffic, you measure using tools like Google Analytics and performance on view websites and all this stuff. If you want to measure the engagement with your brand, you look at the engagement on social media or comments of the article or everything that can connect with your brand. Or maybe you want to more leads so you can see how many subscribers your content can get. So it really depends on your goals and what do you want to achieve. So, but today, and that I find myself that today content marketing is not only blogging, it's also audio, it's also video, and sometimes photos, visuals like
Yeah.
illustrations, infographics, slide decks, and everything. So for an example, of a content marketing project we've done, a good example I can say is that we started doing the original research for Banner Snack, like our original research. So, for example, our banner ad design statistics, we gathered data from more than 200,000 users, and we analyzed over 1 million banner ads between January and May 2018. So that helped us become a thought leader in the industry, and also helped us become helping our users to understand what kind of fonts they should use for their banners to be more readable, or what kind of visual size of the banners they can use to, I don't know, to get more. It not, the funny thing is that we can't say that if you use the 200 and 350 size pixels banners, it can get you more conversions. No, it really depends on the entire process of your campaign, from the entire process of your display advertising and the purpose of your display advertising. So it really, you need to understand that these data are just helping you starting from something. You're not starting from zero. Like, hey, we gathered this, and this can help you, and this is from our readers and from our community point of view. And if it can help them, then it's really great for them. They can start from not zero, they can start from something, And also, like another example, we published an original research where we studied what worked best for our brand on Quora ads and Reddit ads. So our wonderful paid ad teams wrote down the entire idea and process and also the results. So they created an entire slide deck. And then the content marketing team packaged it in a great way to be distributed on several platforms. From that, people can use this research to understand Quora ads and Reddit ads, and also, more website traffic leads for our product. So to get to your question is how I measure the performance of the content marketing. It really depends that what do we want to achieve in the next month, or what do we want to achieve in the next, 3 months. Because we are planning every of our content for 2 months, and we already know what we will do in 2 months, and that really helps us, like just putting around the priorities and see that, hey, we are going on this road, on this map. But if some things came around, or a new idea, and we can see, hey, this idea can be a bigger priority than the content that we are working. If yes, then we are working on that idea. If not, we just park that idea, and then we can get to it whenever we have time.
Okay, very interesting. And considering your own website, so your own blog articles and your podcast, so what do you usually aim to? So what is your most important goal when you create an article or a podcast or a video? So do you want to reach a wider audience? Do you want yourself to give yourself a kind of awareness in the world,
I
or
believe
what?
that the biggest achieve I can get is, maybe connecting with people like you and say that, hey, let's do like a podcast, like a video, or hey, let's do like a collaboration marketing. and I'm using my blog as an experiment ground, as an experiment project where I love to experiment and see if it's working, not if it's not working, if it's helping me. And my blog and also my podcast helped me develop myself a lot in a professional way and also in a personal way, and also helping me connecting with people and just, I don't know, picking brains, picking ideas, talking about projects, talking about ideas, see if I can help them. Like, for example, uh, when I started working with Andy Crestodina on a regional research we've done for Banner Snack, and then the next step was just I interview him for my podcast, and then at the conference here in Romania we met and just stay and just hang around and just connecting with each other. So now it's not just taking that step on just taking the positive stuff from other people and just, I don't know, connecting with people and talking with people and see if there are stuff that I can help them, it's good. If there are stuff that they can help me to achieve a personal or professional goal, it's good, you know? So yeah, this is what I'm doing with my blog, because I love creating content and I love experimenting with content. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I believe so much. And I also believe in visual content and visual marketing. And I've done a lot of infographics and all this stuff. Like, I really designed the infographics. Like, I opened the Adobe Illustrator and worked on those infographics. So I'm also like a hybrid marketer, if I can say. Like, I can design, I can do videos, not really, audios, podcasts, and all this stuff. Like, I didn't get my hand dirty in the video system.
Okay, very interesting. And how do you make the content on your website, articles, for example, more SEO
so I'm
friendly?
starting with the keyword research and user intent. Like, I believe today we need to understand, as a content marketer, you need to understand the importance of keyword research. Like, even if it's starting from an idea, just do the keyword research and then you just, I don't know, just go on the internet and behave like the user who wants to understand that idea, who wants to understand that keyword. So that means that you need to really dive deep in the user intention process. So these are my main ingredients when I'm thinking of SEO friendly content, even today. For example, I want to understand the user's intent when they look up for something. Is it transactional? Is it informative? Is it navigational? So, you know, can I create the content around the keyword that can drive the results of the user intent when they search for? Or can I create the kind of content that can connect me with a type of users or a type of readers, even if it's on my blog or if it's on our company blog, even if it's not an SEO based content, you know? So, but I also believe that a good SEO friendly content is also design driven content. You know, for example, we are creating the feature image for our blog post in house. Like, we have our illustrator who is working on those featured image. It gives us more branded content, and also it adds a touch of personality to our content and blog. And yeah, it's new content, and Google loves new content if you use the right data, metadata, right?
Yeah, exactly. You should understand what your
Exactly.
target audience wants to see. Yeah. And you know, on my webinars dedicated to Instagram marketing, I prefer to show people some very great examples, the examples of well established brands on Instagram, so that my audience could learn from the best and could take an advantage of what they have already achieved. I mean, these brands. And what is one of your favorite examples of a company or of a brand, of a business that is really getting
Like,
content right?
I give you two examples from the B2C and from the B2B industry. Like, I'm just in love in Netflix and MailChimp. Like, I believe they are thinking and behaving like a media company. Even if Netflix is a video streaming company, they are thinking of a media company from every perspective. Like, for example, I love their tech blog, the Medium tech blog from the Netflix, and where they are talking about how they are using, I don't know, experimentation analysts on Netflix. And even if it's very techy, so I I even don't understand maybe 65% of the article. But and to be honest, I'm not reading the entire article, but I'm very interested on how they are using Medium to create a brand around their workflow and just take us behind the scene. And it's also interesting because they are launching several podcasts around movies like, I don't know, Stranger Things or The Crown, or they are talking about how they are like a Netflix company. They having the podcast We Are Netflix. So they are using everything around content to drive people and just to connect people with their brand. And then they started, and that's very interesting, using content more often and creating more kind of type of content like audio, video, photo, text, whatever. Then, and if that brand is starting to be in the user day-to-day behavior, it's starting to be a verb. Just let's do some Netflix. People, they are not asking, hey, do you want to come to my home and just watch a movie on my Netflix? We just use that
Yeah.
as an entire proposition. Let's Netflix, and people already understand, what do you do? I'm Netflixing, and that's interesting because they are building this verb and this brand starting from the ground as a content. I also love like MailChimp, because MailChimp, from the B2B perspective, not just because they launched the MailChimp presents, the entire content, the entire content hub, like documentaries, videos, audios, and all this stuff, but also before, when they use, I don't know, creativity, just to stand out from the crowd and created content for everything. Like when they went to a conference, they created a video on how they are creating that billboard. And they put that billboard, that photo with that billboard, and they use that design to put it on the video, so they can also show the behind the scene, the process, the entire process, and then the final results. And that, for me, MailChimp was like, hey, they are starting behaving as a media company. So yeah, that for me, it's very interesting.
Yeah, I also mentioned and Netflix
Wow.
and Mailchimp on my webinar. So yes, they are doing great on
Oh
social
yeah, oh
media
yeah.
and
And
on
also
Instagram in
Netflix on
particular.
Instagram, it's, I don't know how
Yeah.
they can manage it, but I believe they have a few users on Netflix, like not their users on Netflix. Let me just check it, because I'm very interested. What kind of it's
Okay.
Netflix? Yeah, they have the Netflix US, the Netflix Romania, the Netflix España, Comedy, Mena, Italy, France, Brazil, DA, Latino America, Indonesia. So yeah, they have a lot of verified user, and they also have their let's say their movie user, like Witcher, Netflix, like what they have, another one, I don't know. They have, you just go on Instagram and search Netflix, and you will see that they have a lot of Instagram accounts, and they also just have on their hashtag Netflix 15 million posts. So yeah, so yeah, that's
Yeah,
it's astonishing, so good. So yeah,
that's
I love them.
perfect. Yeah, this is exactly an example that you should learn from. Okay, we just talked about the best brands, but is there something frustrating on social media that really that really upsets you nowadays? So what do you find most frustrating about the way businesses
Well, I
behave
believe
on
that
social
if
media?
it's frustrating me or upsetting me, it's my problem, because I'm saying too much on social media. I'm looking too much on what they are doing wrong, But and I should just unfollow them, and that's all. Just focus on my work and focus on things that it's working. But to answer your question, I believe that maybe what's most interesting is that the users that don't, the brands that don't really understand social media. But that's something like a subjective way, because we can say that they don't understand social media, but we can't say that if we don't understand their business goal. maybe they are behaving in a way that we can't understanding on social media, but that's working for them. Another thing that is frustrating me is that they are focusing too much on the platform. Like, what if tomorrow, I don't know, Facebook will die, or Instagram will die, or TikTok will die? You know, what if they just close the door and just finish it? Or what if the entire government is came in, hey, so let's finish it with social media. It's enough, you know, or just you as a user can use only one platform in your entire life. What that platform will be, you know? But we are focusing, and brands and marketers, we are focusing too much on platforms, and we are putting our eggs on the platform, and we don't put our eggs, I don't know, in the content creation. I believe so much in the content creation, and it's also, you know, the content creation is not just something that you just put it around and that's all, and tomorrow will be gone. But if you create it, people, they will just come around and they will, I don't know, discover new kind of content you put, I don't know, 2 years ago. I also have like episodes I recorded 2 years ago, and they are still being listened by the user. And it's so interesting because you just record that content 2 years ago, you know. So yeah, another thing that it's frustrating me about brands that are behave like how they are behaving on social media. It's just doing social media because their competitors are doing it, you know. And I understand that,
Oh, yeah,
hey, you
I
need to
know this
watch
thing.
what your competitors are doing it. But if they are doing, I don't know, Reddit, it doesn't, I'm sorry, it doesn't mean that you should also do Reddit, you know. You can test it, you can experiment it. And that's why before we started the podcast for our company, I started the podcast on my own, just to test and see how it worked. Because, you know, it's funny because if I just came at the table and just tell them that, hey, let's do a podcast, and nobody knows how to do a podcast, what's the purpose of a podcast, what's the reason to do a podcast, you know, then you just took the time to understand it and just to experiment it. And yeah, you took the process on doing it. But when you do it on your own, like I'm doing on my own, and then I can just come in, hey, we can do a podcast right now because here's the reasons why, and here's our benefits with the podcast. They can say that, how do you know that? Because I already experimented, you know? So I believe that the best social media marketer,
Yes.
content marketer, they have to have their own side projects. It doesn't mean if it's blogging, video, YouTube, whatever. Just look around. I don't know. There are marketers like Nadia from Vengage. She's doing a really good job on her own, like doing the blogging, doing the guest posting, connecting with people on social media. And that also helped Vengage get the more exposure on their brand, and she can understand like what's really working on and what's really not, you know? So that for me, it's not like, I believe that more marketers should have more side projects.
Yeah. First of all, it helps to develop themselves, to find
Yeah.
something in them,
Oh yeah. Oh
something
yeah.
new, to
Exactly.
find some
Exactly.
inspiration
Exactly.
for their actual job. Okay. And what is the latest innovation in social media that really excites you? You know, social media is such a thing that is changing constantly almost every day. So
So
what is the latest
I love
innovation
the
that
visual
really
search
excited
tool
you?
from Pinterest. It's a great way to search on visual, and I believe that visual search and because everything around us is visual, and everything on the internet is visual. The visual search tool from the Pinterest will give Pinterest a new kind of business strategy for them to connect with their users and to give the brand a new perspective on how they can bring their brand on Pinterest. So for me, when they launched the visual search tool, it was like they can be a really big game. They are the, I don't know who wrote that article. They are the silent giant in the social media industry. Yeah. Uh,
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. And do you
we are
yourself
using.
use
We're not
Pinterest
using
or
it
your company?
on the most effective way on it. So because we can't focus it right now on it, and I'm not really like using it every day from my own account. But when I look around and see how it will work, I just had the idea that this can be a really great game change for the entire Pinterest, and I believe for the entire social media. I just think about it. If and I understand that Facebook, they are having that tag photo system, but for Pinterest, just having a search tool, if and just, hey, you see that quote on that photo, and you just search that quote, and that quote, then you can get, I don't know, on another visual, and then you can use it for our brand, or your brand can use it for the user that it's searching for. I believe that's a really big game change. And I also love the fact, and I believe that's not like an innovation, but it's more like on a new perspective. I also love the fact that Instagram will hide the number of likes. I really love it.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to
Yeah,
ask you
and I
about that.
believe
So,
this will
what do you
challenge the
think about that?
creator
You
to
like
focus
this
more on
trend, yeah?
engagement and on the community. So, because a lot of agency came and they have these metrics on counting the numbers of like, and I understand it. It's a marketing perspective, and yeah, I pay you for the likes, like, because the likes are something like a gratification stuff. But if we are moving a little bit more closer to understand Instagram started as a content creation tool, as a content creation platform, because you can just not only just upload the photo, they also gave you the chance to put the filters on the Instagram. And if you're going more in depth, is just connecting the creator with the consumer. Just create a platform where you can create the creator with the consumer. But in a few years, that thing, it was like just creator is just created and the consumer just consumed. They didn't connect each other, and they believe that they connect each other with some likes, some views, and that's all. But now you have the bookmark, now you have the share story, now you have the DM. And if you can understand, is that Instagram wants from the user uh, to stay on the platform. So if you want to stay on the platform, you need to connect with each other, and the likes will make the creator create for the community and create for their followers, not to create for themselves because they have 10,000 likes or stuff like this. And I believe, and I don't know, maybe it's something like an idea or something like this, but I believe that the next step, they should hide the following numbers.
Good
Oh
idea.
yeah,
And I
and
think
definitely
it
they
will
have
be
to do,
maybe in the
and
next two
this will be a
years.
game changer in social media. If they started hiding the likes, if they started hiding the followers, just think about how Twitter will do that. Start hiding the followers, start hiding the who you're following, and you just use social media just to connect with people. And if you don't want it, it's not just the fear of missing out, the FOMO situation when you're outside because you only have like 3,000 or 200 followers. You're just staying there because you did something, you connected, you get that, and that's all. you know
Yeah. And if we started to talk about nowadays social media popular platforms, I cannot but ask you about TikTok. So, what do you think about this social media platform? And I read in some article that TikTok is going to be even more popular than Instagram, and it's not a bad idea for marketers and for businesses to start their
Well, Instagram
presence
started
on
to
TikTok
get more
platform. So,
traction
what do
in
you think?
the business community and in the B2B community and in the marketing industry. They started to get more traction when they created the swipe up, when they introduced the swipe up feature for the stories, because before that you only had the one link on your
Mhm.
profile. But from that, and you can only put one link, and it was a little bit hustle for the user to go to your profile, to click the link, to open a new tab. And so you just created the Instagram just to connect with people, create a brand affinity for the user, and that's all. But then they started, when they introduced stories, that was a good way for them to create a new bridge between the user and the creator and the brand and the consumer, when they also introduce the swipe up, the link. And just think about it. If you're an e-commerce company, how can you use TikTok? And I know there are a lot of creativity stuff, but the ultimate goal is to make people buy from your website, right? Where is that link? And everything is stay around that link. And I know maybe I'm an old-fashioned marketer, but if you don't have like a swipe up stuff, or I don't know, like a click on that link and will open my e-commerce, or will open my website, or will open my landing page, or I can sell more stuff from my website, because I don't want to put it on another platform, because I don't know how can they behave. Now, here will be the game change when TikTok will do that. But when they do that, the kids will go away, and will come another place, and will come another platform, and it will be just, and this came and go and around, you know? So I believe that when TikTok will introduce the link function in their ecosystem, in their product, more brands will come around. But here's their challenge: how can they bring brands on their platform? Because brands will pay for that platform, but users won't pay for that platform, you know? And they're in the business system, so they are not doing that because they want the good of the planet. They are doing that because they want to make money. So I understand that's a hype. I understand that everybody loves it. I understand that it's very interesting because it's TikTok, it's something new, and it's the connecting stuff, and children and babies and kids are laughing at their parents on TikTok, and they're putting music. And I also believe that the artists who can understand the connection between YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok will have a lot of leverage with their music. But let's not forget that who create and who put the social media to platforms to be there for the user is the brand who is investing a lot of money in advertising on that platform. And I believe that's, just think about, Medium. You can pay to Medium to read articles, right? And you can pay like Patreon and stuff like this for the writer. But would you pay for that user to create the videos on TikTok? No, that's the answer.
I think no. Okay, thank you. Before I didn't think about that swipe up feature, and I really believe that TikTok would take everything in their hands just a few years because, yeah, you said right nowadays there are teenagers and children, but they will actually grow up. And I think they will stay more on this platform than on some other advertising platforms like Instagram, because Instagram, I think it's more for adults, for
And
businesses who already
that
established their
Instagram, it
presence
was a
in
few years ago.
this
What's
or that
TikTok?
niche.
It's right now, right? And and Instagram, it's a business right now. Facebook, it's a business right now. YouTube, it's a business right now. The funny thing is that a lot of people are staying on YouTube, but they're also having their YouTube Premium, their YouTube Music, their advertising on YouTube. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't bother them that it's there if they creating the kind of content the user wants, and they create that kind of algorithms to recommend you the video you want to watch. The TikTok situation is that it's only on mobile. It's not a big problem. It's cool, but brands, they don't have the patience to wait for kids to just grow up. I didn't saw any other chief marketing officer who said that we started 5-10 years ago and now our users are paying our patience. I didn't heard that, because they are not doing that. We are on a platform. The longest form game, it's, I don't know, maybe 6 months. And if they see that it doesn't pay off, so they would just took off to another platform. Yeah. So I believe that this is what social
Yeah, and give
media,
up.
like what I see on social media. And to my last point on what's innovating on social media, what really I want to be innovated on social media, it's how podcasting is evolving and getting so much traction. So yeah, Google started investing a lot of podcasts, Spotify investing a lot of podcasts, Apple is not moving so much in the podcasting. But what about, like, I don't know, Facebook? I can't wait to see how Facebook will use audio, and perhaps you can also put the upload on the audio on their platform in the future. At least I hope so, because for now you can only upload videos, photos, write text, and use emojis. And maybe the next content should be audio, but maybe that's just an idea they didn't think before, and here's something they should do.
You need to write to Facebook. You need to write to Facebook development team. Okay, thank you for really a ton of useful information that you provided me and my listeners with today. And tell me, please, and my audience, how can my listeners learn more about
they
you,
can
about
follow
your
me on Twitter on
services, your
Katai Robi,
articles, your
or on
podcasts?
LinkedIn, or they can just searching for Robert Katai, or just www.robertkatai.com. There's everything I put, and there's also my social media channels, and yeah, just over there. If they follow me, I will publish every time when I'm publishing something new. I will just promote it and distribute it on my social media platforms. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm also going to put all of these links to the description of this episode. Okay. So, Robert,
Well,
what
that's a really
message do you
good
want to
question,
leave my
and
listeners with?
I believe that people's so don't focus on trends and platforms. Invest in skills and content. That's my message. People should invest a lot of their invest a lot of their time, their resources in skills. I don't know, in copywriting, in content creation, in everything, and also in content, because platforms will come and go, but content will always stay, because platforms needs content, and content needs platform where to publish. But you can only create content. You can't create platforms. So it will be more handful for you to create content. So don't focus on trends, because trends will come and go, and they also can kill your marketing. And don't focus on platforms. Invest in skills and content.
Thank you, Robert, once again for coming here. Thank you, Robert, once again for coming here and for being my co-host today. Thank you for all the information you provided us with. And I hope to meet
It
you
was
once
fun.
again
Thank you
in
for
future
having
to
me,
record
and
more and
thank
to
you for
do more
doing that.
collaboration.
And just keep up the good work. Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you. Goodbye. This is a podcast sponsored by Combin.com. Grow and manage your Instagram safely and organically with Combin Growth and Combin Scheduler. Instagram promotion is easy. Combin.com.